You are now in Lost One's territory. Leave. We do not wish to harm you, but we will defend this place with our lives.
Lost Ones, you say you're willing to give your lives for this place?
This is our home, and we will fight.
So, I'm trying to just understand something here. You're willing to die to protect this place.
We are willing to die, but I promise you, that is unlikely.
Well, maybe you don't know who I am, but if you're
Maybe
willing
you
to...
don't know who I am.
I think this guy's got a Peter Pan complex.
Let me make this pretty flat and clean to you. You can let us do what we came here to do, and let you live in peace, or I don't know. How are you guys feeling about cat food tonight? I'm going to do a basic intimidation check.
Sure, go ahead and roll it.
I click off the light and start scanning the woods for our talkers, seeing as they've started responding back, and I can hopefully start keying in on where they are.
So we'll have a couple of rolls here. First, give me intimidation.
2.
All right. So then give me a sneaking test.
6 successes, because this is what Yonkers does well, apparently.
All right, and then finally give me a perception test.
Do you want this as visual, audio, both?
Visual is fine. Give me a -1 because it is a little dark in there. I know you have low light, but it's particularly dark in there.
4 successes?
So you can actually see, you don't see any people, but you notice something a little bit different now that you're kind of aware of different circumstances here. You're looking up in the trees and you see that there are huts built into the canopy of the trees. And as you're looking, you hear that voice say, respond to your, threats and whatnot. And he says, you have stumbled upon a dangerous territory. The Lost Ones live here, and this is our realm. And if you wish to come into here, you must first defeat me, Neil the Orc Barbarian.
Okay, Neil. Tell me, what is the challenge?
The challenge is you must leave here alive.
All right. How about fisticuffs and come out of your little tree and fight like a true and noble warrior?
He says, you mean to challenge me, Neil the Orc Barbarian, to solo combat?
Is Neil afraid of a little old elf?
Neil the Orc Barbarian fears nothing.
Well, maybe you should fear me. I'm opening the door.
You hear him yell kind of to someone, but whom you don't see, and he's like yelling out, and he says, friends, let this challenger come through, and he will face me. And you hear some cheering from the trees. It sounds like several people, many people.
Hey, guys, either of you know how to use this scattergun?
No, I have no idea.
I know which way to point it. That's about it.
Not all you need to know. Here. Just follow me and keep the guns down. Let's see how this plays out.
Real quick, Bobby, as he gives the gun to Case, can I cast increased agility on Case? Maybe I can help him out with his gun skills a little bit.
Yeah, go for it. Roll it. Tell me how it turns out.
All right, it was a force 5. I got 2 successes with a drain resist of 4, so I didn't take any drain, but I got 2 successes on that roll.
All right, so that means that Case right now has a +2 to his agility. Case, give me a roll of your firewall plus intuition.
2 successes.
All right, so I have a quick question, and this is going to reveal something, but like I said, you're a good person who's not going to metagame, but when you get a mark, do you know that you get a mark put on you?
Is it a Bruce Force or a hack on the fly?
Why don't you tell me what the difference would be?
Okay, a brute force, yes, I do know that a mark has been put on me, but I do not know from where. If it's a successful hack on the fly, I do not even know that the mark is there.
Got it. Well then, pretend I never said anything to you, because nothing seems out of the ordinary to you.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Here's what happens. Does everybody walk in?
Yes.
I know Yonkers is taking point.
Yeah, I mean, we would go in behind Yonkers.
I'll walk in behind Case, who has the big gun.
So as you walk in, you enter into this area, and it's kind of an open kind of part of between some of the trees, and then from the sky, this big guy jumps down, and he's got this big beard on, and an open shirt, and some jeans, and this guy jumps down, and he's got a bow in his hand, and he like falls from the sky, and he lands and picks himself back up, and he says, the challenge has been made, and then he gestures to your friends and says, and so that you all know not to interfere. And then suddenly, in a very dramatic show, two arrows hit the ground right in front of Davros and Case's feet, coming from out of the trees. Shoot, shoot. And he says, "You are being watched. Do not interfere in this trial by combat."
Yonkers takes off his jacket and then takes off his gun. Gun rig? Empties up his pockets. Takes his knife, throws it into the ground, at his feet, and then just sort of rolls his neck. I'm activating both of my adept juju.
He says, "This will be a trial. If I win, then you and your friends will leave here and never return."
Yeah.
And he takes his bow and he throws it down, and he takes the arrows off his back and he throws it the other way. And he also takes a combat axe that was strapped to his back, and he like throws it through the air, and it just like flies through the air and then buries the head of the axe straight into a tree. And he had an armor jacket on. You said you took your jacket off, right?
Correct. I figured that was the name of the game, is unarmored combat.
Correct, right. Well, he also takes his jacket off and he throws down, and he's like shirtless with these rippling muscles and like tattoos and paint smeared across his chest and his arms and biceps, and he says, "Let us begin." And then he takes like a stance and roll initiative.
29.
Ooh, he also has 29. What's your initiative stat?
14.
Ooh, he goes first. So you're feeling very confident, and you're setting up for an attack, and then he jumps into a stance, and almost like just barely before you expected that he might do it, he leaps at you, and he makes an attack. So roll your reaction plus intuition.
Six successes on 17 dice.
You didn't take any modifiers out, did you, for like conditions, because it's some makeshift lights have been lit up?
No, I roll 17 dice flat for defense.
Okay, great. So you got 2 net hits on you. That means go ahead and roll shouldn't be wearing any armor, so roll your body against 8 stun.
So that's 5 stun.
All right, so yeah, he leaps at you, and he kind of comes at you with both arms wildly out, and then brings them in at the last second and slams you right in the chest with both of his fists. And
all right, going to try and do a stagger. Yeah, I'm going to do a shake-up. 2 successes for a. I didn't call it beforehand, so I will edge the hits.
That's
or
fair.
the failures. All right, so I'm re-rolling 8 dice, so 5 hits.
Ooh, so he does get staggered, but you don't get it was a glancing blow. You kind of stagger him, but don't cause any damage. But the good news is that it distracts him enough. You come at him and kind of, you come at him from the side, and he has to dodge in such a way so quickly and abruptly. He wasn't expecting it that you get an edge on him, and you have the opportunity to attack again.
All right, doing standard Carmelic stuff. I'm going to essentially try and come from the other angle, and I'm going to try and stagger him again and get him on the ropes For a measly 3 successes.
And you missed. This guy's fast. Yonkers is shocked at how fast this guy is moving. So he's coming at Yonkers.
7 successes. He whiffs.
Yeah, so he comes back at Yonkers after dodging 2 attacks in a row, and he goes to strike, but Yonkers then deftly swings out of the way. Yonkers is up.
Nothing fancy this time. I'm just going to punch him in the ghoulies. For 4 successes.
Man, you guys are just punching at air over and over again. Give me a reaction plus intuition roll again.
5.
All right, and he misses, and you guys need to roll initiative again. You hear the crowd, cheering and ooh, ah, ah, all that kind of stuff. And to give you guys a sense, since you are watching, you guys are seeing these guys are striking lightning fast. I mean, both of them have just, made 3 or 4 strikes at each other, like 3 or 4 strikes each, and this has all happened in the space of just 3 seconds, So these guys are moving like amazingly fast.
30.
Yonkers can go first.
Since I have the initiative right now, yeah, I'm going to try and get lucky again, and I'll take the -4 for swinging. Going to try and stagger him again, see if I get lucky. I'll take 5 hits, though.
Not bad at all. Oh, but you missed. All right. This guy's fast, man. Neil's going to go. So roll yourself a reaction plus intuition.
I dodge excellently again.
So yeah, you just barely miss his attack. He got 7 hits. You got 7 hits. So he just whiffs by your skin. He can feel the sweat you're perspiring as he comes past. And it's Yonkers' turn.
4 hits.
And you missed. The most exciting fight ever. All right, Neil's attacking.
And I'm about to get punched in the face.
Ooh, 4 net hits to roll body and resist 10 stun.
My mentor spirit's about to give me shit. Yeah, I think Yonkers just went out cold.
Yeah, remember every 2 stun beyond your limit goes into a point of physical.
That's 1 physical.
So you guys see, again, this is over the course of like 5 or 6 seconds. They're going past each other, swinging. Then early on, Neil gets a quick jab as he jumps at and catches Yonkers off guard, like right off the bat, and hits him in the chest, staggers him back a little bit. They're like swinging past each other, punching, kicking, dodging past each other, and finally Neil dodges out of one of Yonkers' attacks that he makes and comes right up and hits him right under the chin and knocks him down and out, and he falls unconscious on the ground. The one who calls himself Neil the Orc Barbarian stands there and straightens himself up and looks at Case and looks at Davros and says, and then points down at the ground without looking at Yonkers and says, "Take your friend and leave and never return."
I'm gonna look at Case. Just say, I guess we better go.
I'm going to look down at Yonkers and say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Well, give us, why don't you let us be? We'll be out of your hair. Won't burn any trees. You can be where you be, and we'll just finish up what we're doing here. Never see us again.
He starts to look at you intensely and begins to slowly step back into his stance, and he says, "What business do you have here in my home?"
All right, I'm going to interrupt, and I'm gonna cast Control Thoughts on this guy. On Mr. Neil, the Barbarian.
Okay.
All right, 6 successes. Oh my gosh!
So
Okay.
he sees you
Oh, fantastic.
doing it, and he says, he looks at you like his gaze shifts from just kind of looking at both of you, and it just like immediately focuses laser sharp right at Davros, and he raises his hand up and he points directly at you, and he says, "Child, your attempts at manipulating my mind will not work. And he's like very serious and looking at you, and he says, you will leave now, or my patience will run out.
Devers is going to say, okay, and his voice is going to squeak as he says it.
And one thing you do notice is that he was beginning to like kind of look at Case and was considering, like, he was about to kind of talk and maybe like have a discussion and negotiate with Case, and now he's like dead set. You guys are leaving. Just to rub it in how Davros screwed it up.
Right. Okay.
So I turn to him. Are you even an orc? I'm kind of looking at him, cocking my head sideways.
He looks at you and without answering your question, he says, I am Neil the Orc Barbarian, and as you test my patience, know that your friend here was protected by the rights of trial by combat. You, one who annoys me, is not going to be so fortunate.
Now, come on. What have I done to annoy you? Like I said, we've got business here. It's not going to intrude. We can get it done. You're going to have to excuse the kid. He's a little overambitious sometimes. You know how the young ones are, right?
He says, yes, children are quite precocious sometimes.
So he made a mistake. He's got his nose thoroughly slapped, let me tell you. So, again, why don't you let us go on about our business? Let me get my friend up here. We'll go on, do what we need to do, and then be out of your way, and you'll never have to see us again.
Give me first an etiquette test.
4 successes.
I can't believe I'm rolling like this.
I cannot roll nothing tonight.
4 hits is not bad. 7 hits, however, is ridiculous.
What's his limit?
7. I'm not quite convinced at the logic for why you must be coming into my home and disturbing the lands that we call our own.
Tell you what, maybe we can do some kind of trade. What is it that we could do for you to make it worth it to let us do our job?
Trade. Interesting. Yes, it is very isolating here in our home. It's hard for us to come by supplies and work. Perhaps if you were able to find some reliable way for us to work and compensation.
Okay. What sort of work would you enjoy doing? There may be a stuffer shack coming in soon. They're revitalizing.
Before we proceed any further, I need you to explain to me the nature of your business here.
All we're doing is we're collecting some stuffy old files on some huge fan of actual Neil the Orc Barbarian. I'm sure that this fan would love to meet you when we're done.
I have no interest in fans. My people here are all I care about, and protecting them and providing for them. Who is the person who gives you this task? And what do they want this information for?
It's a doctor. He's looking to open a clinic in the area.
Interesting. A doctor is a noble profession. I can agree with someone who may want to find a way to provide for the people here, but why this place? Are they looking to... Why do they need this? What is it about this place?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. He thought this would be a particular place. Like I said, maybe he's a fan. And that might provide you with better opportunity. A doctor just starting out in this area, he's going to need some help staying safe. I am sure this doctor would be interested in helping your people if you would help him, maybe keep him and his clientele safe.
This is very interesting. I must speak with my mate first. Kira, come down! And he turns around and yells up into the trees, and out of the tree quickly climbs a woman who's also dressed in tribal gear. And as she comes closer, he says, "My mate Kira must bear children for me, and it would be nice having a doctor around."
Okay, as we're waiting for Kira to come down, I'm going to try to slip out a stim patch and hit Yonkers with it.
Are you going to try to do it stealthily, or are you just going to do it?
Not really. I'm just not doing it like I'm drawing a weapon. I'm doing it slowly.
Okay, well then, since you're not trying to hide it or anything, he's keeping a close eye on you and watching you, you know. But he allows you to do it, and as Kira comes close, she comes close and he says, "This is my mate, Kira," and she looks at Case and says, "This one knows about computers, or this one knows about the Matrix. He's a Decker." And he says, "Ha ha ha," and he turns and says, "Ha! It looks like you have been. My wife here has noticed your skills," and she looks and says, "Yeah, and his skills." Or she stops and she says, "You may want to reconfigure your deck there, sir, because it wasn't very difficult to get past."
I see. Well, I wasn't really expecting to have to defend myself against such a beautiful woman.
Ha! A fool comes into any situation unprepared.
And he surreptitiously reboots his deck.
All right, and so Yonkers, you come awake. You wake up, and now Neil is standing over you, and he begins to put his jacket on, and there's a woman standing next to him now, and they're all talking, and as Yonkers is coming to, Neil says, "I think that this agreement could be potentially profitable. You must contact your doctor and find out if he would be willing to have this arrangement, opening a clinic here, providing for my lost ones, and letting us, in return, work for him and protect his clinic."
What drinking agreement? Where the hell am I? What?
We can't very well talk to our employer empty-handed right now. Please let us know that this is the place he's looking for. Let us do our research on what we need to do, and we will talk to him.
He puts a hand up and he stops you and he says, "I have already given enough leeway here. You are trespassing in my home. You will speak to your doctor and you will ask him if this is an agreeable arrangement."
Very well. I turned to Yonkers. I explained to him what we've been talking about once he kind of gets his head together.
Yeah, Neil looks at Yonkers and he smiles largely and thrusts a hand down at him to help Yonkers up, and he says, "You fought well, friend."
Yonkers will take the hand up, but will not return the salutation. Will kind of stalk off angrily.
Controlling his seething anger.
Yeah, something like that. You know, I don't think Yonkers is in good control of his emotions at the moment.
Understood. All right, is Case gonna call up Martin Tate?
No, I'll go ahead and give him a call.
All right, Martin Tate answers. He says, "Hello, this is Case, correct?"
Yes, this is Case. We've run into a bit of a situation. How would you like some security for your clinic? Because you may not get the clinic without the security. Basically, we've run up against some pretty stout fighters, some pretty stout people in here that have been living in the facility, and they know what they're about. They will not let us continue searching for the information you are looking for unless you can come to some kind of agreement with them.
Who are these people?
The Lost Ones. They call themselves the Lost Ones.
I see.
They definitely can handle themselves. They took out our adept pretty handily. Although, I gotta say, Yonkers did make a show of it. And they've got some pretty good security on the side of the Matrix as well. So I think you would be well protected if you can come to an agreement with them. And I don't think that you're going to get this place without coming to an agreement.
Have they taken up residence in the entire facility?
It does not appear so. It looks like they have taken up residence on the set of Aaron the Orc Barbarian. So, and they seem to be pretty much confined to there. And they may come out and do some hunting to the devil rats running around, but other than that, it doesn't appear that they seem to be spread out.
I see. This is interesting, but I believe that we can make this work in our favor. I only am interested in the office building portion of it. If they have not taken up residence in there, then they can stay living and staying where they are, and I think we can come to this mutual arrangement where I can provide them medical attention and routine medical treatment if they will in return allow me access to the office building portion and provide security for the facility. You make this proposal to this man and let me know how it turns out.
By the way, he really thinks he's the Orc Barbarian. Just let you know, the guy's he's good at what he does, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's all there. He's been in Chicago for a while, if you know what I mean.
He chuckles and he says, I will take that into account in my potentially future dealings with him.
All right, so he hangs up and says, my employer just requires the office building next door. And he will be he has offered to give you and your people medical treatment and regular medical facility and aid if you give him security for his building.
This is a good day. We have done a good thing here. Like I said, my wife Kira, she is with child, and we have other people here who sometimes get sick and they need medical attention. You were brought to us for a reason, and today is a triumph. And he turns around and he raises his head in the air and he goes, and everybody in the trees in return cries out in some wild way, and everybody's very excited.
And as his deck comes up, Case puts his firewall at 5.
All right, so he says, you may search where you need to search. Be careful. I do not want you taking anything that does not belong to my people.
I'm sorry, that does not belong to your people? Or are there other people here?
I just mean our belongings here in our lands in the trees. These are ours. Anything else you need here, it is yours to take, provided that your doctor follows through with his end of the bargain. Then we will not need to find you and hunt you down. And he kind of oddly, uncomfortably shifts, mood from very happy to very serious suddenly when he says that, and then back to happy again.
You will. I have a feeling that you are going to come out very well in this deal with the doctor's aid. So we will go to the building. We will leave this building alone and leave this to you and your people and your hunting grounds. And I guess we will head to the office building.
Carry on.
He kind of gives him what he thinks might be the most appropriate salute. Maybe a fist in the air.
I don't know, Case, where do you think, you said the basement, right? It's where this thing would be?